All right, AB Calc, welcome. We are now going to do section 1.1, which is equations of lines. This is Ms. Kablawi-Cardarella. Pretty much this first chapter is review. It's review of algebra stuff, some pre-calc stuff, some trig stuff that you're going to need to know for calc. So it's going to go a little faster than what we will usually go. Once we get to chapter 2, everything slows down. But chapter 1 is supposed to be review, not like a reteach. So that's how this class is pretty much gonna go. Every day there'll be notes for you guys to do video notes. I'll try to do Friday to be like homework type questions, a chance for you guys to work on homework, figure out what your questions are, tell them to Mr. Gorman so you can tell them to me, or you guys can always email me. And then kind of go through that. You will definitely, once we get to chapter 2, also be on Khan Academy, and there will be Khan Academy assignments as well as my assignments to make sure you guys all understand this for when I come back in November. So, first things first. Equations of lines. There are 3 types of equations of lines. There is the first type, which you guys should all know from like 7th or 8th grade, is the y-intercept type, which you guys all know as y equals plus b, where m is your slope, also known as rate of change, and b is your y-intercept, also known as your starting point. Now, I'm not really a fan of this one because you need the y-intercept to create the equation of a line. And if you don't have the y-intercept, it never really like works out and ends up being a lot of work for people. My favorite one, and the one that we're going to use a lot in here, so this is the one that you need to know for sure, is the point slope form, which a lot of you guys did in Algebra 2. And I know my students who had me in Algebra 2 last year definitely did it, where it was y equals y1 plus m times x minus x1. You still have m. You still have a slope. But this time you have a y1 and an x1, where y1 and x1 can be any point. And that's what's so nice about this, is it doesn't have to be the y-intercept. You could have any point that you have. Got it? And the third type of line is the general form, where it's ax plus by equals c, where the thing that you have to realize is that a and b have to be integers. That means they cannot be decimals, they cannot be fractions, things like that. You guys did these before. You guys did those like freshman year when you did systems of equations, where I said something like, we were selling Riverside basketball tickets, $8 for adults, $5 for students, and made a total of $1,500. So you guys would write an equation of, okay, $8 for every adult plus $5 for every student gave us $1,500. This is still an equation of a line, it just looks a little bit different. We use this mostly in word problems. We're not going to see a lot of this. It's more like taking something that like this and getting y by itself to get it back into either point slope form or y-intercept form. All right, so what we're going to do is just one big old example of this. So let's say I've got point A is the point, I don't know, -2, -1. And we have point B, and I'm going to make it the point, let's see, 1 and 5. And the first thing that it's going to say is find the equation of a line that goes through these 2 points. You're going to see me abbreviate a lot. EQ apostrophe N is equation. There's too many equations. I'm not going to be sitting there writing it out loud every time. All right, first step to finding the equation of a line. You should all know this. We've done this all since, like we said, 7th, 8th grade, for sure 9th grade, is you have to find the slope. Always. You find the slope, you find your M. Now, the equation for slope, we should all remember, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's your rise over run. All right, so in our example here, let's figure out our y2 minus y1. That's going to be 5 minus negative 1 over x2 minus x1. That's going to be 1 minus negative 2. Here with minus and negative, boom, boom, becomes a positive, so that's really 6. Minus a negative here becomes a 3. 6 over 3 is 2. So our slope is 2. Awesome. That's our M. We are not done yet. You still have to write this in the equation of a line. This is where I would pick point slope form. None of these have a y-intercept. They don't. But they're a point, so I can use this equation. Y equals y1 plus m times x minus x1. I need you guys to start writing this down every time you're writing an equation of a line from now on. This is never going away. Ask any of the BC kids. It's never going away. You'll be doing this all year. So, y equals y1. It does not matter which is your y1. If negative 1 is your y1, then the negative 2 is your x1. If 5 is your y1, then 1 is your x1. Got it? You can pick any point. Just for fun, I'm going to pick point A. So my y1 is going to be negative 1 plus m. M is 2. That's our slope that we just found. Times x minus x1. x1 is negative 2, so minus a negative becomes a positive 2. Ta-da! This is my equation of a line. See how easy that is? See how quick that is? See how much simpler that is in points than a y-intercept form? Way better. Now, let's take this. Negative 1 plus 2 times x plus 2. And now I can change this into y-intercept form. If you really, really want to change it into y-intercept form, you can. How we do that? The negative 1 drops down, and then I'm going to distribute the 2. So plus 2x plus 4. Got the 4 from 2 times 2. Combine like terms. So my slope is still 2 because of that 2x. Plus 3, because negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Boom. I now have this in y-intercept form. And now I know my y-intercept is 3. And if I need to, I can still change this into general form. Remember, general form is ax plus by equals c. That means the x and the y are on the same side, so that means I got to take 2x and move it over. Well, how am I going to move 2x over? That's a positive 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x. So negative 2x plus y equals what's left is 3. So that means negative 2 is my a. My b, what's really in front of the y if I don't see it, it's a 1. And c would be 3. Ta-da! All done. Now, let's go. Y equals 2x is back. So let's say about y equals 2x plus 3. Let's say I wanted a line parallel to it. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. So that means I can say, okay, y equals, well, what's the slope? Is 2. The slope just has to say 2. So 2x, I don't know, what's your favorite number? Mine is 10. Plus 10. That is a line that is parallel. What if I wanted one that was perpendicular? Now remember, perpendicular means not only do they intersect, but they make a right angle. They make a 90-degree angle. And their slopes are opposite reciprocals. So that means the opposite reciprocal of 2. Well, opposite means you change sign. So if that's a positive 2, it's now going to be a negative 2. Reciprocal, remember, means you flip the fraction. What's really under the 2 even though we don't see it? A 1. So if I flip it, it becomes negative 1 half x. That's the new slope. And I can still use plus 10, plus 3, whatever. Boom. All right. So this is our review of lines. Here's the thing. You guys need to also start reading your textbook. This chapter is a good chapter to help you out with that, to start reading the textbook, so that way you guys can get used to it. I don't do the same examples as in the book. I do other examples. So if you look at your book's got examples, I've got examples, you've got all these resources. You should be able to then figure out your homework. In the back of the room, there should be 3 baskets, all with assignment sheets. Any of you guys who had me last year should know how this works. For AB Calc, you guys have the purple assignment sheets. I don't collect homework every day. We collect it on the day of a quiz or a test. Got it? So if you end up looking at that August calendar, your first chapter test is the 27th of August. That is when all your homework is going to get stapled together as a homework packet. I'll come in, grab it all from Mr. Gorman, and I'll be grading your homework and your test and then getting it back to you. So go to the back of the room that has the all the Brewer's Corner there. Again, if you guys were in my class before, you guys should know where that is. Grab a purple assignment sheet. Put your name. This assignment sheet, it's going to say chapter section. We're in chapter 1. Due. Again, we collect homework on the day of a test. That's going to be August 27th. Got it? Under the hashtag, which is the pound symbol, it's assignment number 1. Today's date. This is the 13th. It should be the 13th because we should be on track. It is page 9, section 1.1, and the numbers you're doing is numbers 1 through 39 odd and number 49. Yes, I know that the answers in the back are odd. I'm doing this on purpose for you to check your work, but that means I should not just see answers on your paper. I have to see the work. If you just give me answers with no work, you are not going to get the credit. Homework gets graded. A homework packet is a piece of evidence. Because all this homework that you're going to have now for 2 weeks, because this is not due for 2 weeks, becomes evidence. So it is due. All right. Good luck, folks. Tomorrow we will be doing section 1.2.